I had a woman come to me, and she walks in and she says, I just want to know if my house is going to sell. And I said, okay. And she said, I don't want to know anything else. I'm going to pay you for the time. Just tell me if my house is going to sell. I said, all right. I sat down. I didn't even do anything. I looked at her and said, no. And she said, well, was that it? I said, well, you wanted to know if your house was going to sell, and it's not going to sell. And she said, oh. And I said, but there are some very important things I do need to tell you if you really want to know. And she sat down. And what came through was that I told her that in 3 weeks she was going to be diagnosed with terminal cancer, and they were wrong. And it was very important that she get this message because they were wrong, she was to take the treatment that they were going to tell her not to bother with. And I said, also, the good news is on this, you're going to be fine. You're going to survive this. It's going to be a little bit rocky, but you're going to survive and do very well. And you're about to meet the love of your life. And this woman looked at me and said, honey, I'm 65. I've been married twice. I'm done with men. I'm done with marriage. I said, no, really. And he's kind of been around the corner the whole time. You're going to meet him. She said, this is crazy. She paid me, she left. And she was one of those people that walked out going, that was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Well, 6 months later, I get a call from her. It turned out that, in fact, a couple weeks later, she was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I didn't even remember, because a lot of times when people come to me, the energy comes through me, so I don't necessarily remember what exactly happened. Actually, wait a minute. She came back to see me, and I didn't remember her. And she said, I started reading. I said, this is odd. You had like a child's cancer, and it wasn't really developed. And she said, stop the tape. So I stopped, and she said, you don't remember me? And I said, no, I really don't. And she said, well, when I came to you, you told me these things, and basically I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I sat there and I said, you guys are wrong. You've made a mistake. And she said, they looked at me, and I said, no, you don't understand. My psychic told me I'm going to survive this. And they were all like, great. That's just great. Now she's lost her mind too. But she really pushed to get the treatment, and she did survive. And not only that, a couple days after she was diagnosed, someone knocked on her door, and it was this guy who literally, he grew up around the corner from her in Brooklyn. He was looking for her brother. He was out here visiting, out in LA visiting, and he was looking for a brother. And she said, my brother lives on the other side of town. He said, well, I grew up around the corner. She said, I heard around the corner. And I said, all right, come in. She said, because it couldn't have gotten any freakier, okay? And they have since gotten married.